4 different colors here. I want you to think about which one's your favorite color. Don't say anything out loud. Just think about which one's your favorite. Now, out of everyone in the class, do you think everyone's going to pick the same favorite color? Do you think everyone's going to pick red? And more importantly, how are we going to organize all the information from all the picks to where we can easily understand it? Bar graphs are a great way to visibly display data. And today we're going to be talking about bar graphs and creating bar graphs together. Now, this is a bar graph right here that a farmer made to easily tell people how many animals he had on his farm. He wanted to easily let people know how many chickens he had, how many pigs, how many cows. So he made a visible chart to make it easy for everyone to read, a bar graph. From looking at this chart, we can see that he has 1 pig. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses. See how easy this is to read just by looking at a bar graph rather than saying it to someone. This is another bar graph. I made this bar graph last year with my students, and the purpose of the bar graph was to find out their favorite color. They were given the choice of red, blue, green, black, and pink. Just by looking at this bar graph, you can see that red was the most popular color, pink was the least popular color, and every color was chosen at least once. I want you to notice that right here it says favorite color right below the actual colors. Also notice that it says number of students right next to the number. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Now, I'm going to hand this to you guys, and I want you to fill in this bar graph whenever I say to. Hold on to it for now, because first I'm going to say the part of the bar graph, and then I'm going to say what we're going to fill in with ours. And later on, we're going to find out what our favorite colors are and color in the bar graph and see which one is the most popular and the least popular. But first, we need to go over the parts of a bar graph. We have a title, a label axis, categories, label scale axis, and scale axis. Let's go over this step by step. Okay. Now the most important thing to do with the bar graph first is to give it a label. That way you know, it gives you a better idea of where you're going to put everything and the purpose of the bar graph to begin with. Or a title, excuse me, a title. So this is where we would put our title. Actually, before I mention that, let me go over, remember last week we talked about horizontal and vertical lines, vertical and horizontal. And remember the little trick that we talked about, horizontal, always think of the letter H. Vertical, always think of the letter V. Remember when we talked about that? Just a little hint to keep you on track while we do this. Okay, this is where we put our title. Now, the reason why we're making this bar graph is because we want to know all of our favorite colors. So, I'm going to make the title of this bar graph, Student's Favorite Color. And so go ahead and write in at the top of your title, Student's Favorite Color. This is our title. All right, everyone okay? Okay, now I want to talk about our label axis. where we're going to put basically the source of our categories. This is where I'm going to put, in this situation, colors. Go ahead and write that. This is what I'm trying to find out. On the label axis, I'm putting what I am trying to find out. Now, we need to fill in our categories. In our categories in this situation, we're going to be asking which is our favorite color out of red, blue, and green. So, I'm going to go ahead and put red, and you write red. Blue. And green. Everyone okay? All right, we just filled in our categories. Now notice, if you look at our label axis, colors, and then look right above it, categories, what colors? Red, blue, and green. These are always going to be right next to each other. These explain what each other are. Okay, now let's move on to our label scale axis. Now this is going to be from whom or from what we are making the bar graph. We're trying to find out all of our favorite color. Who are we? The students. So we're going to write students on our label scale axis. Everyone's written students? All right, we're ready to move on. Now, we're ready to fill in our scale axis. This vertical line right here is our scale axis. Now, I'm about to say something very important. This is where our numbers go. Always, this first horizontal line right here, always start at 0. And then from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ours will go up to 6. Now, I'll go ahead and fill that in. Now, the reason I do that, let me just give you a quick example. If I were to start at 1, 2, 3, and I were going to fill in 2 spaces, now with the green numbers right here, I'm reading that this is 3, the representation of 3, when really it's supposed to be the representation of 2. It's misleading. We always have to start with 0, okay? We'll talk more about that later. Okay. Let me take a look at your bar graph and make sure we're on track. All right, looks good. Okay, now we're ready to fill in our bar graph. And let's go ahead and take a survey. If I can find, here we go. We're going to find out from red, blue, green. Okay, I want everyone that chooses the color red to raise their hand. Okay? We've got 5 students. Everyone that chooses the color blue. All right, 2, and the color green. All right, we've got 4. Okay. Now I'm going to get you guys to come up and help me shade these in. Who wants to shade in the red portion? All right. you're just going to shade in each block representing one number. Very good, Lou. All right, who wants to come up and do blue? All right, come on up, Lynn. All right, right here. The blue, and we've got 2 chose blue. All right, very good. All right, and any volunteers to come up and fill in green? All right, and we have 4 green. All right, thank you. Very good, guys. Okay, just by looking at our bar graph, what was the most popular color choice in this class?
Red.
Red, that's right. What was the least popular color?
Blue.
Blue, very good. And how many more chose green than blue?
2.
That's right. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 choose green, 2 choose blue, so 2 more chose green than blue. Very good. Okay, we're on the right track with this. We're going to do one more bar graph together. But this time, I want to ask you guys to come up and help me fill in, or I'll call on you to fill in some portions. Now, before we start this, I want to remind everyone the bar graph always has a title, a label axis, categories, label scale axis, and a scale axis. And on the scale axis, do we always start from 0 or from 1?
0.
0, very good. Okay, we're ready. All right. On this bar graph, I am trying to find out how the colors of the eye color of my cousins, okay? So if I'm trying to find out my cousin's eye color and compare them, what should I title my bar graph?
Cousin's eye color.
Or cousin's eye color. Very good, both of you are right. Okay. Cousin's eye color. Okay. Now what's the next portion I need to fill in?
The label axis.
Label axis, very good. Okay. So the label axis, hold on one minute. Okay, now let's remember the label axis is always telling us what are we trying to find out. We're
Cousin's eye color.
the cousin's eye color. So we're from who are we asking the information? We're asking all of my cousins. But what are we trying to find out about my cousins? The color of their eyes, okay? Okay, to get our categories, let's look over here at our data. I have 4 cousins with brown eyes, 2 cousins with blue eyes, I have no cousins with green eyes, and I have 1 cousin with hazel eyes. So, what should I put here for my categories?
Brown, blue, green, and hazel.
Very good, okay. Fill this in really quick. All right, now we're ready to fill in our label axis. Now, we already know what we're trying to find out. Who are we getting this information from?
Different cousins.
The cousins, that's right. So here I'm going to put cousins. Okay, and now I'm ready to number my scale axis. That's right, I start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Can I ask somebody to come shade in the brown portion? Okay. So how many brown color?
4,
4. 1, 2,
2,
3, 4. Very good. Now can I have someone come up and fill in the blue portion? Lynn, come on up.
Blue.
And for
It's
blue, you have
2.
2. That's right. Very good. Now, how many cousins do I have with green eyes?
none,
Well, what should I do?
nothing,
No, I fill nothing in. Nothing goes in this spot.
no,
All right. How many cousins do I have with hazel eyes?
1,
All right, and I'll go ahead and shade in 1. All right. Is our bar graph complete?
yes,
Looks good to me. All right, good job, guys. You completed this bar graph. Now, I want to ask you guys a few questions about this bar graph. How many cousins do I have, by raise of hand, how many cousins do I have with brown eyes? Lynn?
4.
Very good. All right. How many cousins do I have with blue eyes? Luke?
2,
Very good. How many with green? Lynn?
0.
All right. And how many with hazel?
1,
Very good. Now, what is the most common eye color among my cousins?
brown,
That's right. And what is the least common eye color?
Green.
green,
Green, that's right. I have no cousins with green eyes, so that's the least. Do I have more cousins with green eyes than I do with blue?
Yes.
no. You said with green eyes
Oh.
and blue?
Good, yes, green.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Every answer is good in this class. You're fine. So yes, that's right. I have no green eyes, so the question was, how many more cousins do I have? Green eyes than blue. So I have 1, 2. So how many more cousins with brown eyes do I have than with blue eyes?
2,
That's right, 2. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 with brown eyes, 1, 2 with blue. All right. So I think you guys are ready to do some of this on your own. And I'll walk around and make sure everyone's on track. But I've got this worksheet, and it's Farmer Joe's Animals. And what I want you guys to do is give this bar graph a title, label the label axis, label the categories, label the scale axis, and number the scale line. After we're done doing that, we're going to look at everyone's work, make sure we're all on the same track here, and then together we're going to answer these questions. So go ahead and pass these out. Why don't we work in pairs? All right. So you guys go ahead and get started, and I will help you. If you need me, just ask. And I'm going to leave everything up just in case you need a reference, something to look at to help you. Looks good. And don't forget to give your bar graph a title. You always want to do that first. Great. And then you always want to label the scale axis. This one's a little complicated, a little tricky. We have the categories, so from where are we getting this information? From Farmer Joe's farm, that's right. All right, good work. We're ready to answer the questions. Okay. So, how many more chickens are there than pigs?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chickens, and there's 3 pigs, which leaves 4 more than pigs.
That's right, so that would be your answer, good job. All right. All right, let's see. Are there more horses than cows?
No.
That's right. All right. How many more cows are there than chickens?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So,
There's not more. How many
more cows are there than chickens? Well, there's one less cow. So, it would be a negative.
-1.
That's right. Okay. And how did you get your answer? I want you to try together to come up with a math problem that explains how you figured out that this is -1.
So there were 6 cows.
So you need to put it into a math problem. That's right. Very good. You guys work really well together. All right. Okay, so to wrap all this up, today we learned about bar graphs and their functions. Why do we need bar graphs?
To show us where things stand, a lot easier than verbally saying them.
Exactly. We need to be able to see it to easily understand it. It's just much easier than shouting out all different kinds of information. It's easier to make something you can see and reference to again if you need to. Other people can understand it easier. That's why we need them. Okay. Let's see. Why is it important to have a label access?
So we know what we're looking for?
Right. Or not necessarily looking for,
Where we got our information from.
it's where we got our information. And why is it important to have our label access below our categories here?
To know what the labels are.
That's right. And it's always telling us also what we're asking about. Not from who or from what, but what is it we want to know. And so I think you guys did a great job. We're going to do more about this next week, and I have some homework for everyone to take home. Let me go ahead and grab it and explain it. And then we will be ready for recess. Okay, I'm going to have you guys take another farm activity home. It's the same bar graph that we had just now in the work we did together. But I want you guys to go home and ask 5 different people. It can be a neighbor, it can be a friend, a mom, a dad, a grandmother. You can call to get this answer. But we want to know which one's their favorite animal. Is it the cow, the horse, the pig, the lamb, or the chicken? You will put the answer next to, see how it says person 1? Your first person, you'll put that answer right here. Person 2, put their answer, and so on. Then we're going to label our bar graph by giving it a title, by giving it a label axis, by giving it categories, by giving it a label scale axis, and numbering our scale axis. And we always start from the number 0. That's right. All right, so turn this in tomorrow, and we're done. Good job, guys.